Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration for brand new beginners to crochet. I've got a couple of things that make it easier for my in-person students to learn, so I'm going to go through some of those and then show you kind of how I help others get started. So I hope this helps. One of the first things is, if you're very new to crochet, I recommend getting a yarn that's similar to this. Instead of being several strands, this is more like a cord. It'll make it a little bit easier to learn how to create a chain and create the single crochets that you need to start building some of the other projects that you might want to do later on. So this is a really great yarn to start with. If you can't find this, there are some others out there that are very similar, and it will make learning much easier for you. So one of the things that you need to know when you are looking at starting to crochet is finding the yarn that you want to use, and then you'll need to check on the label for the yarn. It will give you some of the information that you need. So this one shows that you should use an 8mm hook. It's also called a USL or a number 11. And there's always these pictures on the back as well. And it'll show you back here the same information. So 8mm crochet hook, and it'll give you an idea of what kind of size you're looking at if you use that hook with this yarn. It also gives you information underneath, washing instructions. This one is machine washable and dryable on delicate cycle. Don't iron it. Some things like that. It tells you what it is made out of. So this particular one is 72% cotton and 28% nylon. And it'll tell you approximately how many yards there are in this one skein. So that might help with projects that call for a certain length of yarn to complete them, if you're looking at a pattern that someone else has written. So I'm going to set this to the side. I've got one of those yarns already open over here. So one of the first things that you have to figure out is how to hold your yarn. There's different ways people hold their yarn, and I highly recommend watching some other videos as well. Some of the ways that other people hold their yarn might be more comfortable for you. I hold mine, I kind of grab it with these two fingers, wrap it over my thumb, over my index finger, and then I take it and I put it under my pinky in the back. My pinky is going to hold my tension so that my string is kind of tight and not all floppy. Okay? So with my hook, I'm going to go from my left side, because I'm right-handed, underneath my yarn. I'm going to lift up and I'm going to turn my hook all the way around and slide it down to this big part. You don't want it to hold it so tight that this won't slide, okay? Because we need this to slide to make this nice and easy. So I've got my twist here. I'm going to take my middle finger and my thumb, and I'm going to hold that twist. Okay, I'm pulling it out just a little bit, kind of makes a teardrop shape. I'm going to yarn over, and what that means is I'm going to go over top of my yarn and then wrap my hook underneath so that I've got a piece up here that'll go into my hook. I turn my hook towards my left hand, and then I'm going to slide it down through the loop that was on my hook from my first twist. Okay, this creates a little knot here at the end. There are other ways that you can create this first knot, but you need that knot there to start creating the loops on your hook. Okay, so for now, I've still got my string I'm working with under my pinky. I'm gonna hold what I'm currently working with right here at my hook with my middle finger and my thumb. I've still got my yarn that I'm using to yarn over with over my index finger. And I'm gonna just make a simple chain. A chain usually starts most projects if you're doing blankets or flat kinds of things. So I'm going to continue to do the same thing. I'm going to go over the top of my yarn towards my left hand. I'm going to wrap my hook underneath. So I've got my loop down here. I've got my yarn up here. I'm going to turn my hook towards my left hand and then pull it through that loop. And then I've got a new loop here. One of the reasons I turned my hook towards my left hand is because if you'll look, you kind of create a teardrop shape with the loop that's on your hook. And when you turn your needle, your crochet hook, towards that pointy part, it makes it much easier to grab the yarn and then pull it through. Okay? If you try to go over and grab some yarn over, and pull it straight down, you're going to end up fighting that loop that's on the bottom. It's going to make it harder to get your hook through, and you're going to end up doing a lot more fighting than crocheting. So if you turn your hook towards your left hand where you've made that point here, it just slides right through and you can keep going. So try this. A lot of times it'll take multiple tries to get this figured out, how to hold it, going and grabbing your yarn and pulling it through the loop. And you can hold your yarn, if you're watching, with both hands, and you can slide your middle finger and thumb that are holding your work as you go to kind of help keep your teardrop shape up here. So give this a try, and you can make a giant chain. Make it 10, 12 feet long if you want. Just keep practicing. And when you're done and you've kind of gotten the hang of it and your chain looks more like a braid instead of this kind of wonky shape, to undo it, you take your hook out and then you just pull and it will undo itself all the way to the end. And you can keep practicing with the same piece until you get really comfortable making this chain. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post some more videos. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. Thanks. Have a great day.